Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second hour of the College Football Saturday. We have Adam Lemerise with us, who does a really good job with bowling. Big bowling fan, like myself, and also some honor racing as well. But he loves college football, and he loves Florida State, just like behind me, right there with the banner. So Adam, bring out the Knowles hat. So we'll talk a little about Florida State and Notre Dame next weekend, because they're playing each other next weekend in Tallahassee. This weekend is week 0 on and it's going to be you got some games, like the first game coming up. You got on Saturday. I think it's at 1 o'clock. You got Nebraska and Illinois. This game was going to be played in Ireland, but it got canceled because of COVID-19. Now it's back in the States. So what do you think about those two teams playing each other to kick off the Big Ten?
Well, I believe Nebraska and Illinois do have two really good teams coming back, but overall in the Big Ten, you're going to have to find a way to stop Ohio State. I know they don't have their sensational quarterback anymore, but I like their quarterback now, JT Stout. I think he'll do wonders in Columbus at the shoe. Overall, I think it's Ohio State. Wisconsin's got a really good team up there in Madison. You've got a sensational quarterback there, good head coach. I'm gonna, because if I had to make a pick for Nebraska, Illinois, I would have to give the nod to the Fighting Illini over Nebraska. And we take a look here at some footage from last year's game versus Wisconsin. That was a really good pass. Overall, it's nice to see college football return, especially with fans in the stands after last year. Some teams couldn't have it because of COVID. ESPN's College Game Day will be in Atlanta for the MEAC SWAC Challenge between Alcorn State and North Carolina Central. So overall, I have Illinois over Nebraska, 1 o'clock on Fox tomorrow from Champaign.
Okay. Well, I had Jim Cotter on earlier in the first hour, and he said he writes for Illinois. He thinks Illinois is going to beat Nebraska 34-31. Do you think that's going to be the score?
Yeah, it's called. I believe overall it will be a good scoring game, but I got to give the nod to the Fighting Illini over Nebraska in Champaign.
Okay. Well, at 2 o'clock, if you're sitting around and you get tired of looking at Nebraska and Illinois, you start looking and go, oh, God, what is that? Yeah. You can turn to the CBS Sports Network. You got Connecticut against Fresno State. Connecticut hasn't played in 600 and some odd days. And now they're an independent team because they left the AAC to become independent because they wanted to go Big East for basketball. So what do you think about Randy Edsall and taking his team, the Huskies out west, playing Fresno State?
Oh, this is UConn hasn't played. They're going cross country. Into Bulldog Stadium to take on Fresno State. It's kind of when the game kicks off, it'll be at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So I don't know who to give the edge to, but I believe I'll have to give the edge to Fresno State. It's at home. I know it's an early kickoff for the West Coast, but overall, I've got to give the nod, to Fresno State over UConn. Randy Edsall has taken his team cross country, so I believe the early kickoff will hurt them. So I have Fresno State knocking off UConn tomorrow at Bulldog Stadium on the CBS Sports Network at 2 p.m.
Okay. So you got Fresno State going to knock them off. Okay. So Fresno State will be number one. It will be 1-0 for the first time in a very long time.
That's correct.
And the funny thing is, Adam, this is the first ever morning game at the Bulldog Stadium.
Wow.
So that's early. That's early for them. Yeah, that's
like
sitting up at like 8 o'clock in the morning and playing.
Yeah, it's called.
Over Japan.
Yeah, it's called. They'll need their coffee to get rocking and rolling out there in Fresno. And actually, a lot of people may not realize this, but the PBA Tour used to have a summer event in Fresno a long, long time ago.
Right.
So, so overall, I have Fresno State knocking off UConn
Okay.
tomorrow at Bulldog Stadium.
That's awesome. Yeah, because when I was a kid, Fresno had the Fresno Open, and some guy named Pete McCormick won that tournament for the first
Yep.
time ever.
His first, I believe it was his first career victory after trying so hard to win. And he shot the 300 game in 1987 at the Los Angeles Open. So
yeah, it's always good to see him. Now he's a tournament director, or he was helping out with the one of the TV broadcasts this year. So it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's called. I believe he is the Southwest tour director on the PBA regional tour now. So at least he's still involved with the PBA tour.
That's cool. And look at also, Fresno State has two good, good quarterback in Jake Haitmer. I think how you say it, and then Hainer, and then Jalen Cropper, his wide receiver. So it's basically, if you have a good quarterback and a good wide receiver, you're going to have a good chance to put up some points.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I believe. Yeah.
And also, here's the other thing people don't realize: this is their first time ever facing each other.
I didn't know that. Cool.
First time ever. They haven't played each other at all. So I guess this is a free game for Fresno to say to UConn, come out and play football, because I don't see them on the schedule in the future as a home and home series.
No, overall, UConn's got to make the long travel out west. So I don't know the last time they did this. So it's going to be an interesting game out there in Fresno tomorrow afternoon.
Yes. And then at 3:30, this is going to be on ESPN, Hawaii taking on UCLA, in the Rose Bowl. And we don't know how many people are going to be in the Rose Bowl, but still, playing in the Rose Bowl is still the Rose Bowl. And the Rose Bowl hasn't had anybody in their fans, anybody there, because the Rose Bowl was moved to Texas last year. And I don't think UCLA had anybody there.
No. And I believe when Hawaii has their opener, I believe the athletic department said that no fans will be allowed there for any sporting event in Honolulu because of the drastic COVID numbers. So even the governor of Hawaii has said, do not come into the state. So I'm looking, this would be a good week 0 West Coast matchup. UCLA has so much history. You look back to Troy Aikman and Tommy Maddox, and we can't forget their legendary head coach, Terry Donahue, who unfortunately passed away earlier this summer. So I believe UCLA will dedicate the season to their late coach, Terry Bowden. And Hawaii is a really good team out of the Mountain West. They used to play at Aloha Stadium, but now they're playing at a stadium on campus. So we took a look here at some.
This is the bowl game.
Some video versus BYU in the Hawaii Bowl at Aloha Stadium. So I believe I've got UCLA, as Lee Corso would say, closer than the experts think versus Hawaii. I believe it'll be less than a touchdown for the Bruins over the Rainbow Warriors.
Yes, the Rainbow. Yeah, they want them to call themselves the Rainbow Warriors again. Yeah, not like back in the old days. We remember the white helmet with the rainbow on one side.
Oh yeah. It's called. Who can forget what Cole Brennan did at Hawaii? And unfortunately, Hawaii doesn't have their longtime announcer who passed away, but they do have. I believe his name was Jim Leahy, and now his son Kona is taking his spot this year on the Hawaii football telecasts. So at least they're keeping it in spirit, having his son do the play-by-play when Hawaii is at home on the mainland.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Hawaii?
No, I never have. It is on the bucket list. I do have a long bucket list. So, I've seen, all the volcanoes, Also, Hawaii has a really good athletics program in general. Their men's volleyball team is the defending NCAA national champions. So I've got to go UCLA over Hawaii in, like I said, closer than the experts think, as Lee Corso would say.
Yeah.
Less than a touchdown.
Well, I've been to Hawaii. My parents gave us an opportunity to go out there years ago. I had something. Sorry about that. Anyway, I went out there one day and one time, and I saw the Aloha Stadium. It's basically, I'm sorry, it's a big bucket of mental bolts and all that stuff. It's made of metal,
Mm.
and it's right across the street from Pearl Harbor.
Wow, very cool, very cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, cool. So it's like a couple blocks away. So they had this big flea market there, and my parents were like, "You want to go see a flea market?" I'm like, "I'll go." And they're like, "Yeah, it's at Aloha Stadium." I'm like, "No way." So I went walking around, looking at the stadium, and I got a chance to look inside the stadium because somebody left the doors open. I was like, "Oh, that's where Joe Montana actually threw the football."
Wow, very cool story.
I go, "Wow, this is old, and what the heck is going on out here?" I looked at it, but hey, it was pretty cool. Yeah, don't get me wrong. So, and the last game of the night is, I know you're going to stay up for this one. UTEP against New Mexico State, 9:30 on the Flow Football Network. I guess FlowFootball.com. I guess they.
I believe the game will also be televised on a local station out in Las Cruces. KVIA, I believe, is the broadcaster. Also on Valley Sports Arizona is going to have the game.
Okay.
And I believe, if we take a look at the graphic on the screen, I think I'm going to have to go with UTEP over New Mexico State. UTEP does play in Conference USA. New Mexico State is an independent. All their other sports are in the Western Athletic Conference. So hopefully the turnout will be good in Las Cruces. So for me, I have UTEP winning over New Mexico State tomorrow night in Las Cruces.
And this is an annual matchup. They used to do it every year, and I guess one of these trophies they bring home is a silver spade. So that's It's almost like the boot down in Texas between the Rangers and the Astros. The Lone Star State battle. But I guess when you're now in the same conference in the same division, I don't think you play with a trophy anymore.
Well, Iowa and Minnesota still play for the Florida Rosedale Pig. So, you have Penn State, Michigan State. I mean, you take a look here. This is footage UTEP versus Abilene Christian from last year.
Yeah.
At the legendary Sun Bowl in El Paso. Overall, I've got to say UTEP will find a way to knock off New Mexico State tomorrow night in Las Cruces. And we take a look at the graphics on the screen. That's hard to beat. 81.4% of the team's rushing yards, over 1,000 passing yards, 90% of the receiving yards. I don't know the statistics from New Mexico State, so
yeah, that's what I found for UTEP. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
And overall, I have to have the Miners winning tomorrow night in Las Cruces.
That's true. Yeah, I know the guy who is the Sun Bowl president. His name is Bernie Olivas.
Yeah, okay.
He's a very nice guy, very cool guy, and he's been the president and CEO of the Sun Bowl, and now it's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
Yep, that's correct.
Tony the Tiger. Yeah. So,
yes. So I
told him that's a cool name. How did you pull that out? So he goes, "Well, they called us." I was like, "That is awesome."
Yeah.
Like the ACC championship is going to be the ACC championship sponsored by Subway. I'm like, do we get free subs?
Yeah, I mean,
that's my question.
Exactly.
And
overall, I've got to say, talking about some other conferences, I've got to say Oklahoma is going to be the team to beat in the Big 12 this year. They return Spencer Rattler, who is a preseason APL American. North Carolina returns their preseason ACC player of the year, Sam Howell. Don't be surprised if North Carolina creeps up on Clemson because they don't have Trevor Lawrence anymore. They have quarterback DJ Ungalele.
Yeah, you did a good job with that. I just call him DJ.
Yeah, so he does have some starts, because Trevor Lawrence had COVID last year. The SEC looks there's a lot of young talent in the SEC, a lot of young quarterbacks across the conference. Alabama doesn't have Tua or Jalen anymore. Nick Saban always reloads down there in Tuscaloosa. We know that. LSU is looking really good. Coach O always finds a way to rebuild. In the AC, and to me, when it's all said and done, I believe Oklahoma wins the national title. I truly do. And my preseason Heisman Trophy pick is going to go to, I'm going to call him the rattlesnake. Spencer Rattler is my preseason Heisman Trophy pick. I believe he'll be the next good quarterback, to come through Norman, like Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, and Baker Mayfield, because we all know what they did there, with Bob Stoops. I mean, they have a really good coach down there in Norman. And in Alabama, Nick Saban doesn't have Steve Sarkisian anymore as offensive coordinator. He has Bill O'Brien.
Oh, yeah.
So how will Nick do without, Steve Sarkisian went to Texas?
Exactly. Well, Adam, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. And you and I will keep in touch. We'll probably do this every weekend. Maybe you and I do something together with this. And
Sure. It's called next weekend. The college football season really gets rocking and rolling. So it's called, maybe we can do this once a week, Chris. Called Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And enjoy all the college football action across the weekend, everybody. Y'all take care.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. See you later, Chris.
See ya.
Don't make me smile. Don't it make you smile? Don't it make you smile? When the sun don't shine, don't it make you smile?
way down here. You need a reason to move. Feel a fool running your stateside games. Lose your load, leave your mind behind, baby Jane. Oh, Mexico, you sound so simple, I just got to go. The sun's so hot, I forgot to go home. Guess I'll have to go now. Americana got the sleepy eye, but his body's still shaking like a live wire. Sleepy senorita with the eyes on fire. Oh, Mexico, you sound so sweet with the sun sinking low. The moon's so bright, like to light up the night. Make everything alright. Baby's hungry and the money's all gone. The folks back home don't want to talk on the phone. She gets so long letters, sends back a postcard. Times are hard. Oh, down in Mexico, I've never really been, so I don't really know. Oh, Mexico, I guess I'll have to go. Oh, Mexico, I've never really been, but I sure like to go. Then whoa, Mexico, I guess I'll have to go now. Talking about in Mexico, and a honky tonk down in Mexico. Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. Oh, Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. Oh, Mexico, Mexico.
Lord, it's been rough and rocky traveling, but I'm finally standing upright on the ground. After taking several readings, I'm surprised to find my mind still fairly sound. I thought Nashville was the roughest, but I guess I've said the same about them all. Got one hell of an education in the cities of this nation, me and Tom Paul. Well, we got busted in Laredo for reasons that I'd rather not disclose. But if you're staying in a motel there and leave there, don't leave nothing in your clothes. At the airport in Milwaukee, they refused to let us board the plane at all. They said we looked suspicious, but I think they like to pick on me and Tom Paul. Pick it, Moon. Show in Buffalo with us and Kitty Wells and Charlie Pride. The show was long and I just hung around, and I'd come there to sing, not for the ride. We drank a lot of whiskey whiskey, so I ain't sure we went on that night at all. I don't think they even missed us. I guess Buffalo ain't geared for me and Tom Paul. Lord, it's been rough and rocky traveling, but I'm finally standing upright on the ground. After taking several readings, I'm surprised to find my mind still fairly sound.